with Peace, Love, Paws Pet Sitters here in Columbia, Missouri. And I want to welcome you to our second episode of Peace, Love, Paws with Bobbi in the boarding room. Today I am excited. I have Diann Stelzer here from Barnie's Place Feline Rescue. And we are going to discuss a topic that is really hot right now with the cat community and those who help cats out and have not-for-profit work here in Columbia. And so we're going to talk about trap, neuter, and return, which we call TNR, correct? And so first thing I want to ask Diann is, how important is TNR to Columbia?
TNR is very important to Columbia, and you may not know this, but Boone County has about 27,000 estimated feral cats and stray cats, which is a lot. And that's just an estimate. There could be more, there could be less, but that's just an estimate. On top of that, there's about 17,000 cats that are owned that are also outside. So that's a lot of cats just in the environment. Okay. A colony of cats is cared for by a caretaker, and that's very important because that means that the cats that are outside are taken care of. Okay. TNR is a vital part of that because it helps to take care of the health of the colony.
Oh, okay, great. So then I guess I'm going to ask, whenever we're into that, who benefits from the TNR program?
So the biggest benefactor of the TNR program is the cats themselves. And
of course,
the cats. So taking care of the cats by doing TNR, the cats are spayed and neutered. When they go in for their surgeries, they're also given vaccinations, rabies and a distemper, which means that they're covered for those diseases.
Okay.
That in itself keeps the entire population outside healthier because we don't have to worry about rabies and we don't have to worry about distemper in our environment. So for your personal cats that are outside, that's a good thing. And then as far as the health of the colony, that's great because we know that TNR, spay and neuter any animal, will keep them from roaming. So if you
especially those males, right?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
So as far as a benefit for the person, for the caretaker, for the community, for a trailer park, for a neighborhood, what you're going to find is that those cats are not going to be a nuisance. They're going to be less of them over time because we're fixing them. Right. They're not going to travel. They're going to make less noise. They're going to make less mess, and they'll be taken care of. So
I know that I'm passionate about cats, right? But I also know that you and your group are extremely passionate about the cat population and all of the things that are included in it. There's a lot more to it than a lot of people understand. People do not understand exactly what you do, and probably never will. I know I couldn't do it. I don't have the patience, and I can't be quiet enough, of course, for sure. So if you were to tell me like one passion point for you personally, or for your group, one passion point, what would it be?
So when we go out trapping, and we go after stray and feral cats, sick and injured, and kittens. So my biggest passion point is that kittens is probably a passion point. So at this time of year, there are millions out there. Okay, that's exaggerating a little bit, but there's a lot, hundreds, and we get a lot of emails and text messages about trapping kittens. People want to save all those kittens. So let's go back to our number, 27,000 stray animals in Boone County. If even a sixth of those were kittens, you would be talking about over 400 kittens.
Oh my gosh.
That we can't possibly take off the street.
Oh my gosh.
There's just not enough foster homes. Oh, but if you want to foster, I'd be happy to have you.
The plug.
Yeah. So kittens are a passion because what we're finding is that we don't go out trapping unless we have a plan for the animals that we trap, and that includes kittens. So we get a lot of calls for kittens. We don't go out trapping unless we have a placement for those animals, whether that be with us in a foster home or with another organization that we work with, and we do work with other organizations to try to get as many off the street as possible because kittens are very fragile. If any population is going to die, it's going to be the kittens. I mean, it's sad, but they're very fragile. So having a plan for them in place for where they can go before we trap is the most important thing. If we don't have a place for them to go, then what we have to do, and we're actually doing this later tonight, tomorrow, we're going to go out to a location that has about 13 kittens. And we have to wait until those kittens are old enough and big enough for us to be able to trap, and then they will be strictly TNR. So that is certainly a better option than just letting them die or not fixing them at all. If we don't fix them at all, then the problem is just propagated. We'll come back a year from now and there'll be 100 more animals. If we fix them, at least it stops it in its tracks.
So Diann, I guess I really didn't think about a plan. I mean, I don't think a lot of people do think about a plan. They just want a solution, and a quick one usually on that respect. So from your perspective, who benefits from your program, the program that you guys run at Barney's place? Who benefits from that in the end?
Well, the biggest benefactors are the cats.
Correct.
Because they end up living healthier lives. But the community does benefit greatly.
Okay.
Because the cats are healthier. They're cared for by a caretaker, so somebody that looks after them. And the population itself is just healthier. So our whole community ends up being a healthier community simply by doing TNR.
Wow. I mean, you guys are like working it from a different perspective than other people probably think of. And I commend you guys because I know I've been around your project and what you do and support you guys a lot. And Scott and I both do. And yeah, that's just really crazy. And this is always a question I always think of. So I can only imagine, because I'm visualizing you guys out there in the public and you're going to trap. What kind of resistance do you get? Or do you get resistance from like people that on different properties or like neighbors? I mean, what do you get?
So yeah, we've been very fortunate. We actually have gotten very little resistance. When we explain what we're doing, most people are very welcoming. They want us to come trap the cats. They want us to fix the cats because they know that those cats are going to end up with less babies for them to have to care for. And that's really important. In fact, I think in the last 10 years that we've been trapping as a group, I can only think of one person that actually gave us a really hard time about trapping on their property.
That's amazing.
It really is.
Cool.
And we just weren't able to educate that person. But most people have been very, very welcoming, allowing us to do the trapping on their property as we explain, that it needs to be done, and also they're not incurring any costs. So we do ask for donations, but they don't have to pay us, and we take care of the cats.
Wow. So I was kind of expecting to hear a whole different story there, and that's okay. This is why we do this, because I'm in the know. I want to know too, just like everybody else does. So that's really great. So I guess the one thing that I think of, because we have 12 cats. We own a rescue, and we did that for several years. And I know that it's kind of one of those things where people tend to think that they know how to handle this process, and they think that they can just go out and trap a cat and then they can take care of them and help them. And everybody wants to help, don't get me wrong, because everybody wants to help. No one wants to have little babies out there or mamas that are pregnant, and I get it. But what is your thought on when you should just let the pros do it, or whenever you should try to do something on your own?
If you have one cat that you're trying to trap, there are the Humane Society, the Spay Neuter Project, and I believe Animal Control will all loan you a trap.
Oh, nice. Okay, good to know that.
So you can go out and trap that one cat yourself. The Humane Society, the Spay Neuter Project are all places that you can bring a cat to. So that's easy.
Great.
If you have more than one, and it's particularly wily, or you have kittens or an injured cat, you might consider calling us, or texting us, emailing us. A lot of what we do is stray and sick and injured feral and stray cats. And Barney's place was set up specifically for that purpose. And while some people would say that those cats aren't worthwhile, what we find is that if we help, there are a couple of different reasons for doing it, but two that I can think of in particular with examples. We trapped a kitty named Gaines who was in a managed colony. This colony is down to 4 animals. Gaines is one of the only male cats left in that colony.
Oh my gosh.
So it's 2 male and 2 female. So if you take him away, what it does is it changes the dynamics of the colony. It can also allow other animals to move in. Well, you don't want that to happen. So getting him, he was injured. He had a severe injury on his foot. So we trapped him. It took us about 3 or 4 nights to trap him. Super feral cat. I'm not kidding. He did not want to be touched. And we kept him for about 6 weeks. We took him to the vet several times, got his foot entirely healed, and then returned him. And he is fat and happy back at his colony, where he can remain the boss and keep that colony in check. That's a good thing. The other cat that we helped was a cat with an injury, and he came from a larger colony with caretakers. We actually did not trap him. He came from another TNR group. And we took him because of his injury. Well, this cat ended up having his leg amputated. And so you're thinking, you took a feral cat and amputated his leg. What were you thinking? Well, guess what? He's not feral. He was feral when we got him, or at least acted feral. But, getting the care that he needed, getting his pain under control, taking away that limb that was absolutely no good. And this cat has turned like night and day. You can pet him. He's learning how to play. It is absolutely incredible. So
that's awesome.
So there are reasons, for doing what we do and making things better for the animals.
Right. Well, listen, I totally support you guys, and you know that. But I wanted you to give me just one little tidbit of something that Barney's Place Feline Rescue is actually doing right this moment that is, of news that we need to know about.
Oh, wow. That would be easy. We are
Good.
That would be easy. So we are currently a partner for PetSmart charities. So we have cats over at the PetSmart. We'll have cats there in August. Well, we are also now a partner for Petco, and we'll have cats at Petco in August as well.
Oh, that's great. Good.
Yeah.
So someone can go there and they can check out who all you have.
All the cats that we
adoption.
have.
Okay, great. Perfect. Well, Diann, I am so glad you came to talk to me today in the boarding room about your project and what you do and your passion. And I am just so thrilled that you and I can have conversations and be able to help pet parents with all this information that you've given today. Thank you.
Thank you, Bobbi.